In the quiet town of Yazoo County, Mississippi, there was a secret buried deep beneath the soil, one the townsfolk feared more than anything. Nobody paid much attention to the old woman who lived at the edge of town. Some said she was a witch. Others said she was a historian. But all agreed on one thing: she knew everything about the town's past. Things better left forgotten, she kept to herself, mostly. Kept a garden. Spoke only when necessary. But her eyes. They were always watching. Watching everything. One evening, she walked straight into the town council meeting. No invitation. No warning. Just her, and a thick, leather-bound journal. She stood at the front and said, "There's a truth none of you have the courage to face. But that doesn't mean it'll stay hidden." The room fell silent. She flipped open the journal and began reading names. Dates. Events. All things the town had forgotten. Or tried to. One of the councilmen laughed. Called her insane. Another said, "These are just stories." They all agreed, it was nonsense. She closed the book slowly. Looked them in the eyes. And said, "Do as I said. Or watch history burn." The next morning, the Historical Society building burned to the ground. The fire department said it was an electrical fault. But the people. They knew better. There were whispers. Rumors. But no proof, and she didn't run. She stayed in her home like nothing had happened. Sat on her porch. Drank tea. As if the world hadn't just shifted. Over the next few weeks, things got strange. The mayor started receiving letters, and signed, "Old," written in the same hand as documents from the 1940s. A schoolteacher reported seeing the old woman at the cemetery at midnight, speaking names aloud at the graves. Then a boy, just 12, fell through a rotted floorboard beneath the courthouse basement. They pulled him out, shaken but unharmed. What he found down there, though, that couldn't be ignored: a sealed door. And behind it, a room filled with crates, old ledgers, bones, faded newspapers, a cracked portrait of a man long erased from town records. One crate held a second journal. Nearly identical to the one the woman carried. Same hand. Same ink. Same warnings, only it wasn't hers. She had never been seen down there. Never mentioned it. Never even looked at the courthouse. The room contained documentation of land deals, illegal, forged, taken from indigenous tribes. Notes of bribes paid to early officials. Even reports of disappearances. People who questioned the system and vanished, and there it was, a map. Red circles around certain houses. Including the woman's. The town began to unravel. People came forward, quietly, carefully, with their own stories. Grandparents who whispered of the pact. Old receipts with odd symbols. A photo of the council in 1942. With one face scratched out. No one knew her age. Not exactly. She looked no older than 70. But records showed no birth certificate. No parents. Nothing. And then she left. One morning, her house was empty.